Hey, what's up everybody? It's been a minute. I asked a question to my patrons over on Patreon what they wanted me to do for my next video when I got back into making videos, and the answer was overwhelmingly just draw something and talk. So that's what I'm going to do today. Alright, I'm going to shoot from the hip on this one. This was not the video I had originally intended to make. I was trying to do something else, ran into some big roadblocks, had some computer problems. I'd filmed myself recording some inking of a new t-shirt design, only to find out that the camera only recorded about half of it. And then when the design was finished, I realized I didn't like what I had done. But I wanted to make a video. So I had to pivot, which is something we have to do from time to time. I could have been self-defeating, gotten angry, and chalked the day up as a loss. But there's always opportunity in adversity. You just have to look for it. So I saw an opportunity to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's to do a little bit of experimentation with my art, which I think is important to do from time to time so you can have growth as an artist. Sometimes you might get a little stagnant, you might not feel the progress you want, so I recommend not quitting, but just pivot a little bit, create some art, but do it a little bit differently than you usually do it. And so, that's what I did. A friend of mine sent me this pad of paper a little while ago. It's kind of a thick parchment, and I've been wanting to try it out, do some drawing on it, and I wanted to use it in the experiment I had in mind. Unfortunately, this paper came with no branding whatsoever, so I don't know where to tell anybody to check it out. So lately I've been feeling like my art has maybe hit a little bit of a plateau. Maybe it's just a little bit of a dip before I start ascending, but I want to hurry that along a little bit. I do a lot of inking. I've been doing it for a long time now, I guess. And I wanted to shake things up a little bit. Instead of finishing it inking, I thought I'd go back to my roots and use the old yellow Dixon Ticonderoga No. 2 pencil. You know, I usually do things rough digitally or with mechanical pencils or whatever, and then I've been tightening things up in the inks. And sometimes I find that my rough sketches are looser, they have a little bit more life. So I've been kind of wanting to experiment with finishing illustrations just in pencil. Not that I'm going to stop inking at all. But I've been wanting to see if I can use pencil to get kind of a different feeling. Something that's not so crisp. Something that has a little bit more of a natural feel. So what I did is I pulled out one of my old punk rock history books. That's my side gig, by the way. Punk rock historian. And in a book called Band in D.C. is a photo of the band Youth Brigade from Washington, D.C. Not to be confused with the Youth Brigade from the West Coast. So I wanted to do a quick drawing. I didn't want to do an entire large illustration just for the experiment, so it's just something a little small. And I just picked one of the guys in the band to use as a reference. My drawing's not exactly like the photo. It's not a perfect likeness. The clothing is just a little bit different. But doing this drawing, it was just kind of a nice escape from, I guess, my norm these days as far as the finished illustration goes. Taking a little bit of time to experiment, felt like a little bit of weight was lifted off my shoulder. Just to be able to find that opportunity in that time I had to do something different. I recommend it. Just take some time for no other purpose than to make some art, try to learn something new. Because now I feel that when I go back to the regular program, I feel like I've learned a little bit to kind of elevate the art I have been doing. Now, unfortunately, as per the aforementioned computer problems that I was having, I couldn't record myself coloring this, but I was going for something really simple, and what I did is I scanned the drawing into Photoshop and started off with some flat colors with multiply selected on that color layer, and then I just threw in some quick highlights and a couple other tones. You might see a little red in the cheeks and the nose, middle of the face area. So that part of the experiment was just to find a really fast way to color, and I think it looks okay. It's not exactly what I'm going for, but it's a step in the right direction. The things I learned about the drawing, the things I learned about coloring a lot more simple, this is a lot more simple than I color comics and a lot of my illustrations, was something I'll be able to take into the future. And I think start elevating my art again so I can see some progress again. I think that's going to do for today. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. Really appreciate that. If you like the things I do, maybe you might want to help out on Patreon so I can do more. My plan is to see you guys real soon. So take care everybody. Until then, bye-bye.